Merry Christmas! Welcome to our homestead. I'm Cherie, the mom.
And I'm Joseph, the son.
And we're the Shadler family. Well, 2 parts, plus Papa and 11 chickens and 2 dogs. And today we're here in the Harvest Kitchen. We're going to be making some Christmas ornaments together. Joey he likes to be called Joseph, and I call him affectionately Joey. And so Joey is going to be off of school for a few more, probably about 2 more weeks or so, 3 weeks maybe.
Something like that.
Okay, so he's on a break from college. He's a junior, and his brain is saturated with knowledge, and he's really exhausted. And so we're going to do something fun. Now, Christmas was about 2 days ago, but in our house, we start celebrating Christmas on Christmas Eve after sunset, all the way through till December 6th, well, through December 6th, which is King's Day.
January 6th.
I'm sorry, January 6th. Thank you for correcting me. See, he's so smart. Okay, so we celebrate all the way through to January 6th because it's King's Day. Traditionally, that's how Christmas was celebrated when I was growing up, my husband and I. And so we want to keep it that way in our home because that is the way that our church celebrates Christmas, as the Christian Christmas celebration. So right now we're actually 2 days after Christmas, but Christmas is still happening in our home. Now the celebration of Christmas Day for us is usually more about playing music. We play music at church, we're involved in those types of ways. But after that, when all of that stuff is done, that's when the family gets to have some fun together. And so we have a lot of preparation up to the day of Christmas Eve, all the way through Christmas Eve, pretty much, because we were rehearsing late into the night. Yeah. And then Christmas morning, we played music at the church, and then we came home, and then we could relax and start having fun. And we've been visiting a few friends and having some fun as a family, watching a movie, and now we're going to make Christmas crafts. Okay, so when we were growing up, and even now, there wasn't a lot of money to buy a lot of ornaments and presents. And so we often had to make our own fun and make our own decorations, which we really enjoyed. We didn't even think that was a thing of being poor. We thought it was fun. And so I really wanted to, if you watch some of our videos from last Christmas, this is Christmas 2016. We started this together with Joey and I in 2015. And so we decided that, well, I decided that I wanted to share some of the traditional Christmas crafts and things that we did, activities, with my son before he got older and had his own family, so that he could take that and maybe pass it on and understand how to keep it fun when there isn't a lot of money. And quite honestly, this year we didn't have a lot of gifts to give each other, and we really had a lot more fun. Don't you think?
Yep, we did.
We were more creative. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I made a Afghan for Joey. I made a quilt for Ron. That took a lot of time. But
You're still making the quilt.
I'm still making the quilt. But he'd be sitting in class, and sometimes I'd have to wait for him in the car or in this building or whatever. So I'd crochet and I'd pray as I was crocheting for him. So that blanket actually has a lot of meaning. And then the quilt does too. I don't know what that noise. If you hear a noise in the background, it's an airplane. Okay. And so what we did is we were very creative at Christmas time this year. It's been really fun, and I have to just share with you something hilarious. Ron didn't want to be outdone knowing I was making him a quilt, and so he went into his junk drawer and he repurposed his junk in my Christmas stocking and under the tree for me, which is really hilarious because I'll probably use everything he repurposed, but it was stuff that was given to him over the years, and he just gave it back to me. And I laughed so hard. It was so hilarious. It was the best Christmas gift he could have given me, was a good laugh. And so now we're thinking, maybe that needs to be a family tradition. We'll just repurpose our gifts or something, you know? So it was really fun. And then making things for each other, of course, is more meaningful. But we want to talk about, I wanted to share this with you, Joey. When we were growing up, on Christmas morning, we would walk into the room where all the ornaments are on the tree, and all the ornaments around the room, and a Christmas tree, and all the packages under the tree. And the first thing, besides all the sights that would hit us, were the smells. And there were smells that were unusual to us any other day of the year. And this is the reason why. Citrus was not something that was in my house a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Because we didn't have a lot of money, fruit, snacks, candy, stuff like that. Now people might think, well, fruit is essential. Fruit is essential in today's environment in our homes. We have more access to things like this. But when I was growing up, we didn't have a lot of fruit in our home. We didn't have a lot of snacks. We didn't have Kool-Aid too often. None of those things. So we had to make our own fun, our own snacks and excitement. Okay, so on Christmas Day, there would be an orange and an apple in each of the children's stockings, down in the toes. You've heard me talk about that.
You still do that.
Well, yes, Papa still does that. I say, we have fruit in the refrigerator. It's not a surprise, okay? But we would be given an orange and an apple. It'd be down in the toe. So the toe would be hanging down like this, and we'd have a few pecans thrown in there. Well, pecans were the nuts of the South, you know, it's what we ate. And so when we got into that room in the morning, that's pretty much what was in our stocking. In fact, if there was anything else, I don't remember it. I'm serious. All I remember is the orange, the apple, and the nuts. Okay, so we would have that in there. I really don't even remember peppermint sticks in my house. There wasn't a lot of candy. If it was, it would be something hard. Sometimes Mom made some candy with us, but it was really rare. And so when we walked in the room, you would smell this incredible smell of, you know, 7 or 8 Christmas stockings. There were 5 siblings and a grandmother, and we'd have an orange and an apple. Now, it was a house that didn't have central heat and air, and so the scent would permeate the room with the Christmas tree scent because we used a real tree. So it was incredible. Over the years, my mom taught us how to make pomanders. So this is an orange, this is a citrus and clove pomander. And you can use it as an ornament like this, or you can put it in a bowl like this and put it in a room with greenery or pine cones, whatever you want to do. Later, when Ron and I got older, we moved to Mississippi from New Orleans. We traveled to Jackson one year for a little vacation at Christmas time. Now you may think, a trip to your capital is a Christmas vacation? It's like, yes, because if you have never been to Jackson, Mississippi at Christmas time, you're missing something special.
Yep.
It really is very special. In fact, all over the state, like Canton, Mississippi, and Madison does beautiful things. There's all kinds of beautiful things. Right here on the coast, we have the boat parade, and we have all sorts of things. But what was really special to me, and every time I smell this, I just kind of get chills because it reminds me of this. We visited a house called, I believe it was called the Manship House.
Okay.
And it was in Jackson, capital city, and it's a historical house, and I hate to tell you who it belonged to, but it was a famous politician of Mississippi early in the days of Mississippi, and they decorated the house in all traditional decorations. So over the door and on the mantle and everywhere was big magnolia leaves, pine cones, orange pomanders, apple pomanders, all kinds of natural things, okay? And so it just has a completely different feeling when you walk in there from this. You feel like you're going back in time. You feel the Civil War, you know, it's just amazing. And Joey, you went to Civil War camp one time. You got the costume.
Yeah.
What did the girl give you, that neat gift that you got? What was it called?
I don't remember. Something along, it sounded like a cornucopia, or a word like cornucopia, but it was basically just a big cone full of candy.
She made a cone out of paper and put a doily in it, a little paper doily, and she filled it with candy and snacks, and I think little toy soldiers,
Something like that,
Civil War soldiers. It was really neat. Well, those are the types of decorations that were in this house at the Manship House. It's incredibly beautiful. So what we're going to do today is we're going to make these pomander ornaments. And Joey, I'm going to show you how to make simple ornaments, but what I wanted to tell you is if you like this type of thing, then you're going to love our Pinterest page. So please go to our Pinterest page. We have a Bayou Town Productions Pinterest page, and when you go there, I just loaded up lots and lots of different types of pomanders like this one. You're going to be amazed because people have taken this craft to, of course, the extreme. like people like to do, and use their creativity. And they have created the most amazing things, turning them into candles.
Okay.
And actually cutting out the citrus and like roping it together and making garland and different types of ornaments.
Okay.
Apples, and then they do all kinds of carvings on it. Carve it out just like a pumpkin, put a light in it.
Yeah.
Or they've done it where they just carve all kinds of designs on it. Because we'll show you in just a minute, I'm sure if you've peeled an orange, you know what we're talking about. But if you score an orange, and I wish I had this, but if y'all have this, that really cool Tupperware tool that scores the oranges beautifully, that works great. But it pulls just some of the skin off so the white shows through.
Right.
You can also put the cloves in there or decorate that way. So you can cut all kinds of swirly designs. And then you can also put your cloves and all kinds of different designs on here. You can use different ribbon. You don't have to use any ribbon at all. And with all the creative people that are probably watching us right now, they've got a million ideas already, and we'd love to hear them, okay? So we're going to flip the camera around so you can see what we're going to do, and we're going to start making pomanders. So here we are, our supplies. We have a couple of places, little plates here just to catch all of our stuff. This can be a very messy activity. We have cloves. You want whole cloves. Make sure that they're whole, of course, because we're going to use the whole piece to poke them in. I've put them in a bowl here so that they're easy to access. Then you want different types of ribbon. On this one right here, what's very easy to work with, especially if you're working small, is the curly ribbon. It's very inexpensive ribbon. You can also add bows. You could add bells, greenery, all sorts of things. You could add cinnamon sticks. But today, because we're on a limited budget, we're going to work with what we have with it, which is just the basics. And as I said previously, if you want to see some really cool ideas with pomanders made out of oranges and apples, please go to our Pinterest page, which is BAYOU Productions. Click on that page and then go to the Christmas, what is it called? Oh, the Christmas board. Go to the Christmas board, open that up, and you'll see all the pomanders on there, okay? So let's begin. We're going to take, so grab a piece of citrus. If you want a bigger piece, you can use a bigger ribbon like this. So we have varieties of ribbon. We have shiny traditional type ribbon. I have a smaller version, which is a nice one here. I have bows off of packages. You can save all those cute little things that come on packages from other people and use them on something like this. I have some wire ribbon, which I used earlier, which I can make a form, and scissors. And that's all we really need. So we're going to work with the knives and we're going to make that happen. So pick one out. Okay, you've got that one. I did a smaller one earlier, so I'm going to do a big one this time. And then let's go ahead and tie our ribbon. Let's get that started. Now you can leave the little orange stem part there, the little green stem, or you can take it off. I'm going to go ahead and take it off. What actually makes these oranges smell so good over time in the room is that they're actually rotting. They're decaying. And they're letting out their scent. Now, I want to tell you right off the bat that Joey is becoming a scientist. He's becoming a geographer. So his fascination with the scientific method has become both interesting and gross. So he will talk to us about some things. He comes home from conservation class to tell me how we're all going to die. Okay, so we're going to, it make it interesting when we're talking about some of the things we're doing. But really and truly, that's what it is, isn't it, Joey? Is it decaying?
Yeah, it's the breakdown of the acids in the orange and the acids in, or not the acids, but the bacteria and the other particulate matter in the air are breaking down basically the skin and the insides of the orange, and as it breaks down, it I guess basically releases through it's a combination of the chemical reaction itself of the different stuff breaking down and the matter of it being released into the air that is actually making it smell.
Yay! He's just a lot of fun these days. He really is. Okay, so thank you, Joey, for that explanation. We're going to just take our orange. You want to make sure it's centered and we're going to wrap it like a little package. So you want to get your ribbon level, and there's no particular length on it. I actually cut it too long, and oh, I did that wrong. I want to start, whatever I make the top, I want that to be my starting place, just like when you wrap a package. And then come over, and we're going to crisscross. And then do the same, come around the other side, make sure you get your pretty side out. And I am making it taut so that it will stay. When I get to the top, I'm going to tie it. Joey, why don't you go ahead and pick a ribbon for yourself, and you can get started on yours.
Well, I've never been good at putting ribbon on packages. In fact, whenever I wrap gifts, I make a very concerted effort to not put ribbon or bows on my packages because I'm just not really good at it. So I'm going to let Mama do the ribbon, and I'm going to decorate it and poke other things into it.
Oh, come on, you can do the ribbon.
I'm
This
not good
is
at doing the
simple,
ribbon.
but you have to learn. You can do it, I'll show you. Okay, so there we are. Crisscrossed, looks like a little package. So now when we hang it from the tree or wherever you hang it, it's going to hang like that. And then the next thing you want to do is I would go ahead and make your hanger. So just twist your ribbon so the pretty side is out. This is going to be the most simplistic form of making these. Then you can use all of your creativity to add to this project. We're going to just make a simple knot like this, and then pull it, and then we've got our hanger right there. Of course, we want to cut this off, so let's get the scissors and make a nice little cut. I can always hear women in the background going, oh, if she just would have done that, it would have been so much cuter. And I just wish they were here with me. And then I'm going to use this ribbon as leftover, but I'm going to add this little bow to this one here. I've just been wanting to use this all day, so I'm going to use that bow on there and tie that on. And the way I'm going to do it, not wasting, is I'm going to use the ribbon that's left, slide it underneath here, and pull it through the other side. And then tie that around the bow. Hopefully that will be successful. And if not, you could always use a little thread or a wire. Sometimes this ribbon is so thick that it actually would be best if it were thin to go around a bow like this. But I'm going to try it. There we go. Well, that looks good. And I don't even think I need to tie it twice. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and curly cue this ribbon. You could also, what I could do is just sort of rip it down, and sometimes that's successful and sometimes it's not, to make smaller pieces and curl them. And you might want to curl them into the ribbon to give something in the center. Finish that part up. How are you doing over there, Joey?
I'm doing what is called manhandling. It's what happens when a guy tries to do delicate creative work and it doesn't work.
Did you get it crisscrossed well? Is it tight?
It's tight.
Do you want a little help with that bow?
It's a little smushed.
Okay. Do you want to work on this one since I've got this one going?
Yes.
Okay. You can come up with any kind of design you want. Now, on top of here, I just want to show you that there's usually a little flower on the head, a
Okay.
little seed head. And that little seed head, if you push on it really hard like I normally do, it can sometimes break into smithereens and you've got little crumbles all over.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay, it makes a star at that point, and it's
Yeah,
just
it's
as
like that.
pretty to me. It made your crumbles, right. So just dust it off and leave it like that. But if you're careful and you put it into the side, it works well. Now some citrus has a very thick skin,
This one's not doing too bad.
so just work
Punching
with it that
easily
way.
enough.
You might want to turn it a little bit more towards the camera so they can see. And I'm going to undo your bow, Joey. I'm going
That's
to make it a
okay.
little bit better. And get this tight. Now if you have problems poking in your cloves like that, what I do is I'll just puncture little holes sometimes with the end of a knife, or if you have a child, just use a toothpick, because this would be a good craft for a child. We did these as children. And you can do your design with your cloves any way you want to. So now make the bow. And if you notice, Joey is already about, well, see, when we were growing up, even now too, we didn't have a lot of money to buy a lot of cloves. Cloves can be fairly expensive for a small size box. So what we did was we had to just do one row down in between each color like Joey's doing there. And then that was all we could do. Now it still smells wonderful. You don't need to have a lot. And I'm going to cut this one off and just make a cute little bow end here. How's that working for you, Joey? Is it easy?
For the most part. It takes a little bit of effort to push it in there, but it's not too difficult. Usually the smaller you can get the little point on the end, the easier it is to push in there.
And now I'm going to take another piece and just slide through. Since his ribbon was cut a little bit short, I'm just going to slide this through. Hopefully we can get right through there. Now while we're decorating down here, we have had a lot of projects going on in the house. We have been doing a nice, wonderful bookcase addition to our studio office upstairs, which is very important to our family, for our production company. And we've been doing it and videotaping it, so you will get to see that construction. It's been amazing. It started out as a $750 project for 2 very large bookcases, and Ron was able to scrimp and get it down to a little over $300. And it's coming out very nicely. You know, Joey, I wouldn't have picked this ice blue ribbon to go with this orange, but it's actually really pretty.
I thought it was. Blue is always a very pretty color.
Right now I know the little girls are really caught up in a certain ice movie that's been very popular.
That will be unnamed.
That will go unnamed, because when I start singing the song, it makes Joey crazy. So I won't sing the song, but I know every mom out there is going, I know what it is. And I'm going to curl your ribbon at the top, Joey.
And this project works a lot better if your oranges are dry. These are actually washed, so they're still kind of wet.
Actually, no, I pulled them out of the refrigerator. That's condensation.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Well, either way, they're a little bit wet, so the ribbon doesn't stick quite as well, or the ribbon slides around a little bit more. The dust will stick to them, so if you dry them off beforehand, that certainly helps to make it a little bit easier to work with. And now it feels like a porcupine.
Yeah, it can actually kind of hurt a little bit. I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to make a Christmas star, kind of snowflake looking thing, since it inspired me about, oh, you know, icy, looking like ice. While I'm finishing this one, we'll let our viewers have a break from us, and we'll come back in a moment and have them all finished. Then they can see the finished product on the tree. How does that sound?
Sounds pretty good.
Okay, so I'll continue.